Welcome to Forest Chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul Vandermeer, and in today's episode, we will be talking with Russell Vandermeer about being a Speedway team owner. Russell got involved with Speedway through his brother Keith and a church group in Broome that allowed Keith to have a go in some of their cars. Russell wanted to have a go as well, and his dad built a car for him. He started off in the juniors, progressed to street stock, moved to Perth, and continued racing for a bit, but it got a bit expensive with the kids coming along. They continued to watch Speedway as a family, and when the youngest got to 10, he was very keen to get himself started as a Speedway driver. Now they have a team with 2 drivers, and hopefully Russell will return as a driver as well. Welcome to Forest Chat, Russell.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul. It's great to be here on Forest Chat. I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences of being a Speedway team owner.
Thanks, Russell. Very happy to have you here and talking about being a Speedway team owner. Russell, can you tell me what a Speedway team owner is?
I guess we have a few cars that we run, a couple of juniors at the moment, both my kids at the moment, which is Wyatt and Zahara. Lots of support crew, mainly from Grandad, and then sponsors is a big thing. Without the sponsors, we would be struggling to get out there.
And just looking from the sidelines, you've had quite a mighty program through the last season, because winter season is off season, right?
Yeah, winter season is generally the off season, but that's when our home track Ellenbrook runs, which unfortunately this year we've missed out on a few because of the rain, which is that time of year. But yeah, it's just about to kick off into the summer season, where sometimes we can be racing at every weekend at different tracks all across the country. From, I think we're up in Newman again this year, and Carnarvon, down to Albany, Bunbury, all over the place.
So you're organising for 2 cars and all of the people and equipment to get to all these very remote tracks, and you're living nearer to Perth, right?
Yes, we live just out of Ellenbrook. So yeah, it's a long drive. Both my wife and I tow the vehicles, one each. We're going to need a truck soon to get those extra cars down there.
Sounds like it. Anyone got any trucks?
Yeah, crew cab flatbed.
Crew cab flatbed. Oh yeah, you see them all the time with other cars on the back.
Yeah.
Russell, what does it take you to be a Speedway team owner?
Yeah, well, there's quite a lot to it. Knowing all the rules is a big part of it, which is always hard. It changes all the time. Keeping up with that. Fixing the cars is almost full-time job when they're younger and going fast and not that much experience. There's been a lot of crashes and a lot of damage.
I think Speedway is one of the sports where damage is almost expected. Is that right?
Yeah, just about expected to a point. Yeah, it is supposed to be a non-contact sport.
I guess with clean and fair racing, but that's also comes with the quality of the track surface.
Yeah, for sure. The dirt tracks can get a bit rutted and bumpy. They can throw you around a little bit. Yeah, trying to guide the drivers, especially Wyatt and Zahara, to be clean races, give each other plenty of room, give the other cars plenty of room. They're both doing really well at that at the moment. They've actually both well known for being clean racers. Last year, Wyatt got fairest and best voted by the officials, and Zahara was runner-up for that for the season. So they're both very clean races, which is
it's good. And as a team owner, you like that?
Yes, less work the better.
Just talking about that, who does that work?
Mostly me. Wyatt is very good at helping for his age. He changed his own suspension in the rear, both sides, all by himself last week or the week before. Zahara helps when she can. She's actually quite busy at school and work and dancing, so it's good that she doesn't do too much damage, so there's not too much for her to fix.
Is there a difference between the male and female drivers?
No, they generally all race together. Yep, there used to be a ladies division up in Broome and that, but down here, no, they're all together.
Okay, so it's really, if she's not doing any damage, it really is a case of her staying out of trouble.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes the trouble's unavoidable with other cars getting in the way, and then yeah, there's always work to fix. The main thing at the moment is keeping the cars clean, all the mud off them.
I saw a picture somewhere. There's a whole series of sample jars. Is that right?
Yeah, we've collected a small piece of dirt from all the tracks we've been to since Wyatt started racing. There's a couple that I raced on previously that we don't have yet, mainly Broome. But yeah, I think there was 16 or 17 tracks we've been to. Over half the tracks Speedway Australia tracks in WA.
And everyone is unique?
Yeah, it's surprising. Some like Kwinana Perth Motorplex is very dark black clay. Manjimup is quite a white foamy dirt. Ellenbrook is a quite brown, and then places like Newman in the Pilbara and that they're very deep, typical red dirt colour.
So you get a lot of difference between in the road surface, I would guess, how they hold up to the conditions.
Yeah. Some get very full of potholes very quick. Kwinana is very slippery. The kids, I think there's a good video I've got on Facebook there to a soundtrack where they're just spinning out the whole race, the whole video. They found that very slippery there.
There you go. Yeah, so that guiding the drivers there, that getting them through that sort of thing must be a fair challenge.
Yeah, for sure. And part of that is getting the car setups right, having bigger tyres on the outside, the right width tyres, smaller on the inside. Different tracks with different lengths, you need different size tyres or different gearbox ratios. There's lots to it.
That is going pretty deep and I'll say customizing or making the car setup to be the best it can be for that track.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot to it.
And as a team owner, you need to have some idea of what's going on or what you're about to face, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of it, especially with the juniors, everybody's very helpful. We get a lot of help from other racers. They've been doing it for longer than we have. Some of it's just trial and error. Sometimes their advice works, sometimes not. It's just, I will try this today and see how it goes.
And having young drivers, how are they providing feedback to know whether things are working well or not?
Yeah, Wyatt is actually quite good. The first year or so, he didn't really understand. And then further on, you could tell he knew what was going on, but he didn't have the terminology or the understanding to be able to communicate that better. But as this year's gone on, you can really tell his feedback has been exceptional, and we've been able to help set up his.
That's quite a steep learning curve for him because he's alone in the car. Like no one can actually sit there and feel what's going on and help him through that, can they?
No, correct. He's on his own, and there's no communication during the racing either. There's no headset for them to talk through. They do have a one-way communicator in their ears that they can receive, but that's only from the track officials telling them their grid positions and green light, red light, orange light, that sort of stuff.
So it's all just the official making the event happen type comms.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
What else do you need to work on?
The look of the cars, I guess. You get your sponsors. Hopefully, you get good sponsors. That's always the hardest, is getting sponsors, especially for juniors, because they're not such a popular thing like sprint cars. People are reluctant to give money to things that they don't perceive as being exciting. And then, once you get a few sponsors, you got to make your car look nice with stickers and paint jobs and things like that.
Yeah, and they want to have a look at the cars every time as well. So they need to be presentable for that too, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. If you look at any of the videos on rollover racing, you'll see the cars look quite good from where the videos are taken from. But if you walk up close to them, you'll notice that it's all scratched and dodgy paint jobs, trying to make the sponsor stickers look correct. But yeah, from the crowd's point of view, they generally look pretty good.
They're just far enough to hide all of those little sins.
Yeah, as long as you don't look too closely, they look all nice and clean.
Beautiful. And it must take a fair bit of effort to get the crew around. You mentioned earlier about towing and needing a truck. There must be more to that.
Yeah, sure. At the moment, we just have the one car trailer. So we hire a second car trailer for Zahara's car, and that can add to the cost as well. But yeah, towing them, and then you need, especially the further you go, you need a lot of spare parts, mainly suspension parts and tires, and then tools to fix all of that. There's lots of things to carry, fuel, and usually we're spending the night at these places, so camping gear, it adds up very quick on weight and trying to get that down there. And then you've got myself, my wife, the kids. They usually have a friend come with them as well, so cars are full. The pit crew as well, which is usually just Grandad. He's our number one pit crew for sure. Sometimes he takes his own bus down there and camps down there with us, and sometimes he jumps in with us and camps in the tent.
So you're there in the tent. Are you camping at the actual tracks themselves, or do you have to go elsewhere? Or
generally we camp at the track. We set up, park the two cars with a gap in between, set up the tent between the two cars, and then once racing's over for the night, we go up to the bar for a couple of drinks and presentations for the drivers, and then back to the campsite.
I imagine you're not alone there.
No, it's quite busy, especially the further ones. Sometimes if it's only a couple of hours, a lot of people will drive home after the meeting, but we don't like to do that. It's usually late at night. Sometimes it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not fun to drive, towing a vehicle on the country roads at that time of night. So why we prefer to camp.
Yeah, camping's a good option by the sound of things. And you also get to know other competitors and that sort of thing better, I expect.
Yeah, it's a pretty close-knit community most of the time. Like I said before, especially the juniors and the junior parents, they're all willing to help each other, jump in all the time. If you some tool or tires you need, there's always someone there to help give you a hand. It's good.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. All right. Do you want to talk about the promotion side there, Russell?
We do need to get better at our promotion side. I've been a bit lacking. I need a social media person to do it all for me. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, promotion for us is mainly just the Facebook groups. We have rollover racing, which we usually tag our sponsors in that in. Try and post the videos after all the races, so that's all up there. I do need to try and do a bit more to try and get a bit more engagement, to help give the sponsors their value for money, I guess.
So it's quite challenging to do the promotion by the sound of that.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, the experience on social media that I don't really have. I try and get Zahara maybe to do it because she's more into that social media stuff, but she's usually busy doing the actual racing and then too busy socializing afterwards.
That sounds like a teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked about what it takes, and after this break, it'll be good to look at the difference being a Speedway team owner makes. We've had a look at what it takes to be a Speedway team owner. Russell, what does being a Speedway team owner mean to you, your family, or the community?
Yeah, for us, it's spending time as a family. It really helps. We all love it in all the time. The kids even just fixing the cars, they come out, they help. Leisha, my wife, not so much, but I'll get her to come and sit out with us just so that we're all together and fixing the cars, and then we're all together on the trips down to wherever we're going. And yeah, you just spend a lot of time together, and we all love it.
And you're working with a common goal by the sound of that.
Well, Wyatt, he just wants to win. He is getting better at, I suppose, getting better at not winning, because he can't win all the time. Especially now that he's moved up into a higher division with faster kids. He's not at the front anymore. I think that's done him really well. He really enjoys the racing more now than the actual winning itself. It's actually really good.
It's good that he's got the goal to win. Sounds like he gets up there a little bit from time to time, but then he also has to do his bit of struggle to make his performance better.
Yeah. Him and Zahara both, they get a little bit upset when the cars don't go their way. Sometimes they blame me for setting it up wrong. Sometimes it's like, no, you just got to get used to the track, different every day. Even the same track, they put a bit of water on it and the track's different. They've just got to adapt and overcome.
And do they have specific goals?
Yeah, Zahara is, she's out there to have fun. She wants to win and do well. She would like to, but it's mainly just fun, socializing, lots of friends. Hopefully, because she's in street stock now, can have a passenger seat in her car. So she's really excited to get that happening. Yeah. The street stocks, they're allowed to have a passenger seat. The passenger would still have to have their own license and stuff, even if it's just a one-day license. And same race suit, helmet, full harness, everything. Yeah, that would be her goal at the moment, would be to get that passenger seat installed and just take her friends and granddad and whoever else wants to go out there.
That's an excellent goal for her to have, actually, to help to share some of that fun and excitement.
Yeah. Wyatt, his goal is race sprint cars. Been his since he was probably 8 or 9. He just wants to race sprint cars with the big boys. So that's a long way off. That is.
Those cars are super powerful, and they've got the massive wings on the top. They go super fast as well, don't they?
Yeah, 200 plus kilometers an hour down straight for like 200 meters, and then slam it in around the corner at full speed. Yeah. They are fast.
That's pretty intense, definitely.
Yeah, very much so.
And has he got the wherewithal to do that?
He's definitely got the drive and the passion. Considering he's only 13, I'd be biased, but I would say if he keeps it up, he'll have the skill when he gets older. It's hard to be objective there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But you have seen, like, even his ability to provide feedback and that sort of thing. You've seen that develop over time.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's already also helping out with maintaining the vehicle.
Yeah, he's very good at doing all that. Changes his own tires, no worries. Engine stuff, not so much. Even myself, if I can unbolt it and bolt it back on, I'm all good. Some of the deeper engine stuff, not so great at. But Wyatt is planning to become a mechanic. He's older. As soon as he's old enough to get an apprenticeship, that's what he wants to do. And at a mechanic somewhere where they fix sprint cars is his idea. So we'll see.
He's got more than a goal, he's got a plan.
Yeah, yep, and he is very passionate. He lives and breathes Speedway at the moment. Watches videos, watches his own videos. Yeah, if he keeps going at it, I can't see him not making it all the way.
That's really, really good to hear and encouraging that that you're able to actually help him along the way to get to that.
Yeah, our help will stop at a point because sprint cars is like 100 grand a year, so he's paid for by sponsors, not by us.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And I think most people will be in the same boat.
Yeah, for sure.
Being a Speedway team owner creates a lot of positive meaning for everyone involved. After this break, let's have a look at the steps you took to become a Speedway team owner. We've looked at what being a Speedway team owner means. Russell, how do you become a Speedway team owner?
Well, the first I would say is try and win lotto. Nah. Yeah, you would have to want to have a passion for it, really want to do it. It's not something you can just think, oh yeah, I might give it a go. You'll end up loving it and you'll be doing it forever. And yeah, having a lot of time or making time for it, it can get quite intense with the meetings and fixing the cars. But yeah, to start with, you would want to find the right sort of cars. If talking juniors, you're looking at a Lancer or Mirage or an Excel, usually around the early 2000s. They would need to be stripped out, all the glass pulled out, stripped bare almost, and then full roll cage on the inside, full containment seat, full 5-point harness, all the safety gear. They're actually probably more safe in that race car than they are on the trip to the racetrack.
Safety gear requirements, they don't muck around, do they?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's the first thing they always check at every meeting. The cars have to be checked after you build them that everything is up to standard, and 99% of that is safety standards. There's a little bit, obviously, on the engine to make sure you've not having an advantage over other cars, but majority is checking safety, the belts, the roll cages, the fuel tanks in a safe position, the battery's safe, all of that sort of stuff.
There's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
For building the cars, it's quite in depth. You can obviously buy a second-hand car off of someone that's already raced, and generally they're mostly in good condition. The cars range from $4,000 for a basic car for a new star. You could get something like that ready to race. And I actually seen one on Facebook the other day was $30,000 for a junior car.
For a junior car? Wow.
For a junior car, 30 grand, yeah. But this is built by top tier people that build state title winning cars. Yeah, it's the best of the best of the best. Whether it's worth 30 grand or not, that's a relative term. If you've got that sort of spare money, then sure.
You mentioned earlier you've got to actually set it up for every track. So, that's really just the, okay, I've got something, but that's not using it.
Yeah, that's correct. The different tracks, the main difference in the tracks is the length and the tightness of the corners, so to speak. So you'd need sometimes a whole different gear ratio so that you're running the right sort of power at the right times. Sometimes all it takes is a different size tire, like a bigger to get you that little bit extra speed at the end of the straight. Sometimes you go as far as changing the travel of the suspension. If it's going to be a rough track, you want suspension that's going to give you a bit more movement. If it's a bit flatter, you just want a bit tighter suspension. Yeah, things like that. They're the main things you can change in juniors. Street stock, there's a less to do because they run both directions.
Like clockwise and anti-clockwise.
Yeah, street stock will go clockwise and anti-clockwise. The idea behind that is so that it's a stock standard car. You can't mess with the suspension so much. You have to be able to go both ways. If you set up the suspension for one way, you're going to have a hard time going the other way.
Yeah, I drove a go-kart like that.
Yeah.
So then you've got the car together and we've been through some things about scrutineering. Is anything more that needs to happen with the car?
Yeah, they've got to be registered. Our cars, they're sedans, they're registered through Speedway Sedans Western Australia or Speedway Sedans Australia. The license is about $250 a year, I think. It's a huge amount for a car registration when your road car's normally about $1,000 a year. But that needs the engine's got to be sealed. Computer has to be sealed so that it's all standard, all the same as everyone else's, so you can't modify those sort of things. Once the car's all registered, the drivers themselves need to be licensed through Speedway Australia. That's about $170 a year for the juniors, off the top of my head. And having a junior, the parents themselves need to have a Speedway Australia license, so that that's all together. Everyone has to be licensed, same as the pit crew. Like Grandad, when he comes down, he'll have to have a license to get into the pits to make sure he's all safe. Yeah, I think that's it for the licensing.
The licenses are in multiple levels and categories, I'd imagine.
So you got a junior license, the pit crew / mechanic license. For those, they're the lower level costs, and then the senior licenses are a bit more expensive. They're about $250 a year. So juniors are anyone aged 10 to 16. And then once you're 17, from the day you turn 17, you have to race in the adults division. And then, they're about $250 a year for the licenses.
So there's a fair bit that goes into just getting everything together, ready to even go to an event. You talked earlier about the loading up with parts and tools and getting up with camping gear and all that sort of thing. So that sort of rounds out what it takes to get the team there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it.
Being a Speedway team owner takes a lot of commitment and dedication. Russell, thank you for sharing your experience of being a Speedway team owner. And from all Forest.chat listeners, we wish you all the best in your future endeavours.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I hope that Forest.chat listeners can benefit from my experience of being a Speedway team owner, and hope I haven't put them off too much with the exorbitant costing.
I hope everyone realises that racing motorsport is not necessarily a cheap exercise, but club level sport can be achieved by quite a lot of people, which is great to hear. You've been listening to Forest.chat, where we talk about individual endeavour in Western Australia, what it takes, what it means, and how you do it. I'm your host, Paul Vandermeer, and in today's episode we talked with Russell Vandermeer about being a Speedway team owner. Remember, there are 4 ways you can get involved with Forest.chat. Share the domain Forest.chat with your friends and family and people you meet. You get advance notice of episodes when you subscribe. Listen to the published episodes at forest.chat/episodes. Book an interview at forest.chat/interview. Book an advert at forest.chat/advert. I'm looking forward to joining you with our next interview. Until next time, enjoy making it happen.